So apparently having a boyfriend is embarrassing now. Let's talk about it. Unless you're living under a rock, there is an article that is published in British Vogue that is titled, "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?" This article is written by Shantae Joseph, and it has been going absolutely berserk on TikTok. People are losing their minds over this article in so many different ways. Personally, I want to talk about it because of my own experiences with men. It's crazy to say, but I have thoughts whether I find them embarrassing depending on the caliber of the man. Honestly, this article made me cackle, and it's one of those articles that you'll be pretty happy if you're single because it feels like, oh my god, finally they're not attacking me for being single. I want to expand on a couple of perspectives that I've seen reading the article and online with what people have shared on TikTok about what their thoughts are about this article, which is interesting because pretty much everyone has the same consensus. Like, a lot of them have a certain message that they're telling when they're talking about their reflection of this article, and it all seems to center on having an identity of your own and not having it to be dependent on a man, which I have thoughts about. So we're gonna get into it a lot more in this episode. Stay tuned. This article actually starts by saying that you could have a content creator that is your favorite creator, right, on the platform, and you'll be enjoying their content, having fun, and all of a sudden they start posting their boyfriends, and immediately, according to the author, you get the ick, right? Keyword is all of a sudden. So my question when I read that part was that, does that mean that when the creator suddenly started posting their boyfriend, was it constantly their boyfriend in the video or pictures all of the time? Because it can't be that they suddenly post their boyfriend maybe once or twice and you're not interested in their content anymore. That just does not sound right. That was my question, right? Because at what point do you consider a creator boring whenever they post your man? Like, how many times does it have to be, oh, I see, okay, I at first I didn't see the boyfriend at all and now I see them? Do you get what I'm saying? And it almost feels like Shantae was alluding to the fact that these creators, you know, they start from trying to show their identity and all of a sudden they get a boyfriend and they want to showcase their boyfriend even more than themselves, which can be problematic because I think they're trying to advocate individuality within women. The author actually quoted a different person who was a Substack writer. Her Substack is actually entitled, I think, Boyfriend Land. Yeah. And I read that article, the particular article where the Substack writer was addressing this same issue, and she made some pretty valid points, right? She was detailing her encounter with a writer who was on Book Talk on TikTok, and when she introduced herself to this writer, the writer just started introducing her boyfriend instead and just started talking about the accomplishments of her boyfriend for about 5 minutes, she says, which, thinking about it, is like, okay, you are the writer. How come you are introducing your boyfriend to me, someone I don't know, and telling me about his accomplishment when I'm here for you. This is pretty much the concern that the Substack writer had. And she talks about a lot of different examples, mentioning how people post their boyfriends for clout, just to get viral. She even mentions how some people post their fathers or their brothers just because they're hot, right? To sort of gain this level of proximity to an attractive man because they don't have a man themselves, right? And that can be problematic. I'm not even gonna lie. You have some people posting things with captions like, "My Swedish boyfriend tries a Rice Krispie treat for the first time," right? You have others posting saying, "Oh, look at me begging my dad not to flip me on the dance floor at my wedding." And then the dad goes ahead to flip her. And people are commenting almost always in favor of like the man, trying to support the man, like, "Hey, that's a nice man, he 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 he." Wrong. There was another example that she mentioned. I'm talking about the Substack writer, by the way. Mentioned about someone posting a conversation between her and her brother, and essentially it is the brother talking to her anyhow, which should not be acceptable. Okay, let me put that right there. This is how the conversation went. The sister was like, "Are you up? How are you?" So the sister was like, "Do you think I'm a sunrise or a sunset?" Then he goes on to say, "Yes, what does that mean?" She follows to say, "Do I remind you of a sunrise or a sunset?" Then he says, "Well, if that's an option." She says, "It's either a sunrise or a sunset." He says, "Well," final answer. Do you see the trajectory of this conversation? She gave him two choices. Is it a sunrise or a sunset? He proceeded to say, "Well, if that's an option." So he's making up that option, a disrespectful one, by the way, not just anything that's like, "Oh no, you're beautiful." That's a third option. Cool. But a whale, just because you're my brother does not give you the liberty to talk to me anyhow. Keep that in mind, because we have normalized so many things. And in fact, she says when society teaches people to accept bad behavior becomes normalized, which it shouldn't be. It's like we have normalized men talking to and treating women anyhow, anyway, any shape or form, and it is disgusting. Society have normalized coddling men so much that any post on TikTok involving a man will most likely go viral. And a lot of the times is when a man does something bad, right? If he does something bad, he treated a woman bad or whatever. "Oh, look at my man treating me so terribly," right? Let's take a Kane, for example. She is notoriously known for her man and how they pick fights with each other. They, sometimes they talk to each other crazily, right? But they still somehow find their way backwards, and people eat those posts up. They really do like those posts. For example, there was a post. This person posted their brother, right? She claims the brother is attractive, so she wanted to share it with the world. And there are a few things wrong with that. Because first of all, the comments are crazy, right? A lot of these comments are like, oh my god, hey, we all need to be introduced to your brother. Then she likes that post. That comment. Someone else says, "Your brother is very cute." She likes that comment. Is it for clout? Who knows? She probably thinks the same too, but why do you need to think your brother is cute? Like, where is that coming from? Then she goes on to like another post that says, "Hi brother, I'm almost 5'11", so it's like she's really planting this level of this. She's planting this seed that shows people how attractive her brother is, or how attractive she sees her brother, which all goes back to women centering men, because all of these comments are highlighting how attractive her brother is. Not good, sister. Not good. I wrap up this part of the Substack article. She does talk about how there are a lot of videos, literally a lot of videos, where people are just solely talking about their men. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with just having a man or being in love, but I feel like with your post, every single post of yours being about a man, come on, let us try to find an identity outside of a man. You know, she actually highlights Carisha's infamous my man line, which became a huge thing, right? Because people posted pictures, they'd be like, my man, and it would be like almost every video that they post, they would be highlighting or talking about their man, which, like I said, it's not a bad thing until everything you do is centered on your man. I felt like this myself when I found myself thinking about a man. And I'm just like, when did we lose the plot? When did I lose the plot? Because yes, it's great, you're gonna have a man in the future, you're gonna marry, you're gonna have a boyfriend, whatever, but it shouldn't be taking 80%, 90% of your time, right? Especially when you're not married, especially when you have a career or a relationship with God or a hobby to cultivate, right? You need to be able to place your own needs, your own identity before placing a man as your 100% priority or your number one priority. Fun fact, that's how this podcast renewal was actually born, because I was left thinking about this guy that, what, mind you, we're not even together. We're not together, and so when I was, you know, I found myself thinking about a man, I was like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that, okay? I picked up my mic. I'm like, you know what? I have a podcast that I've not uploaded episodes for in ages. So let me just wrap something up real quick. And guess what? I put up an episode, okay? Okay, now back to Shantae's article. Like I said, she referenced the Boyfriend Land Substack writer, and I really enjoyed her article, so that's what I talked about previously. But Shantae practically talked to a few women, and a lot of them were sharing sort of similar sentiment about how they feel about their boyfriends, right? Some of them were saying, oh, it's lame for me to even have a boyfriend myself. There was someone that was saying, oh, even though I'm romantic, I still feel like men will embarrass you even 12 years, so I'm not going to claim them. And I just had one question with that, because that woman, for example, what kind of man are you associating yourselves with? To the extent that you have to ask yourself this question, whether you have to claim the man or not. Let's really think about this for a second, because who are the men you're associating yourself with? Because you only make the decision not to claim him if you are putting your identity in the back seat. Like, just because you have a partner doesn't mean you should not have an identity of your own, to the extent that you have to be like, oh, men will still embarrass you. No, 12 years in, embarrassing? Come on. Those two should not be in the same sentence, actually. There were other women that were scared to post their boyfriends because of evil eye. Oh my god, other people would get jealous and then my boyfriend would be taken away from me. Come on. Other people were also just worried of just something happening. They just didn't want to go back to the internet and be like, oh, hey, look, right after I posted my man, now we're no longer, right after I posted my man, we're no longer together. We're too dependent on what people think about us. It's ruining who we are. Like, if you're gonna push your man, push your man. The whole point is, do not lose your identity in the process of having a man. Don't let partnerships be the one thing that isolates you from who you are. And I like that she mentioned the British Vogue writer and author Stephanie Yeboah. She said how Stephanie lost followers when she posted her boyfriend, and that is something that I wasn't sure whether she was trying to allude that people are becoming more woke on the fact that having a boyfriend does not really make you stand out or give you the type of clout that you may want anymore. I'm not saying that Stephanie wanted clout, but I'm just saying people are trying to connect that dot in the sense of, oh, you posted a boyfriend, maybe you must need some likes or followers. Because she felt guilty. She actually felt guilty just posting her boyfriend because she thought she was being boastful showing off her boyfriend, right? Because dating has become so challenging these days, whether you're in DC or whether you're in Boston. And I've seen a lot of takes from other TikTokers about this as well, where they were sharing their thoughts about the article. A lot of them did mention that, yes, that article does not apply to you if you have an amazing partner. There are some partners that will not embarrass you. And I think many people need to be able to cling to that thought and that context, that it's not all of the men that are going to embarrass you, okay? You need to understand that it has to be dependent on the man that you choose. Keyword, choose. Don't you think you, in being in a relationship with that person, you don't have a say in whether you get to stay or not? Especially if you're not married. What are we talking about here? If you're not married and you're still contemplating whether you should leave or stay, knowing damn well that man is treating you so bad, Charlie, get up. This is not a game. Because even if the boyfriend he's treating you like this, come on. What you think will happen when y'all get married? Ultimately, I think it depends on you as a person, because there is something deeper going on here when we're addressing this article, right? If you look at the title, it said, "Is having a boyfriend embarrassing now?" Right? So the now being placed there shows some sort of like a timeline. Oh, maybe at first it wasn't seen as embarrassing and now it's seen as one. I believe it all stems in your identity. Who are you apart from your partner? When you are not with your partner, who are you? Right? If you had no partner, who would you be? How would you portray yourself? How would you introduce yourself? What would be your accomplishment? Let us try to see that part.
Another thing that you can consider is choosing the right person. When I tell you, it will not serve you well if you choose a loser, especially when you are on the opposite side, being a hard worker, always being the go-getter. You will regret everything. And there's a creator on TikTok called Leandra. She's an attorney in New York. She talked about this and how the article really, while it's important, did not highlight this when it comes to how badly women make choices. Let's take the woman who said she would not claim her man because that man would embarrass her even 12 years in, for as an example, right? If you're gonna wait and sit around for your man to embarrass you 12 years in, that is not a good man. And there's no way that he didn't embarrass you in the beginning stages that you just did not see it. He probably embarrassed you. You just were too blind to see it. There was no way that he did not embarrass you in year 1. He did not embarrass you in year 2. He did not embarrass you in year 3. The only year he decided to embarrass you was in year 12. That is just too good to be true. And it's because we center men so much that we stick around even when we see them treating us so badly. Even when we see them treating us so bad, it's not something that you want to do, okay? Especially if you're not married to that man. Maybe the best thing to do if you are offended in any way by this article is to just make sure you're choosing your partner correctly. Don't just choose any loser that will embarrass you for you to feel like, oh, is Shantae really talking about me? Who is she really talking about? Let's not do that. The general consensus is that people have shifted from, oh, look, this is my man, to, hey, this is me. And that is what has been trendy nowadays, making people with partners more hesitant in posting their boyfriends. Some creators see these trends as maybe a threat, I guess. They don't want to come off as unbothered. Some of them also do not want to come off as this lovey-dovey person instead of being who they are. I may have to agree with Stephanie Yabua on this one, just because she actually thought that showing her boyfriend made her come off as boastful, but some people could just generally fear being judged by other people or their audience just for being happy, right? Because it's like, okay, why are you all of a sudden posting your man every single time? What happened to your own individual post? Some people, while they enjoy loving their partners openly, also attract unnecessary comments from people that say, oh, I wish I had this type of love. Comments like these is not something you want to impose on someone else, because you just don't know what they're going through. And this is why some people find it very difficult to be inclined to post their partners. The consensus is we need to find ways to decenter men. Let us find ways to put our identities first. Let us make sure that we know who we are, regardless whether we have a partner or not. And it should not stop you from showing your creativity, showing your skills, showing your adaptability. You need to know that you are more than just having a partner. And yes, having a partner, because of society's mindset nowadays, will likely cause you to be more viral than you would if you're with your individuality. But if that man embarrasses you too, just know that it ruins your own brand. It ruins your own identity as well. So make sure you find your identity outside of just who or what a man is. Generally, I don't think having a man is embarrassing. I think it depends on which side you're on. Are you posting for money? Are you really posting because you're very curious to what your man is doing? Or are you just posting it because you love your man so much you want him to get the spotlight to showcase his accomplishment? It's really important that as women we find our voice, because trust me, these men, they will always find their way. And it's actually quite sad how we're programmed to constantly look for marriage without attempting to find our own stability or just solidify our position as a career-driven, mature woman. And this is quite common in the African community. A lot of the aunties, the grandmas, they were it was like marriage was the prize, you know. It has changed so far with our generation, but they struggle a lot. When their man treats them terribly, they don't have anywhere to go, you know, because they just don't have that identity outside of their husband. They don't have that identity outside of their marriages, which is sad, because this man is out here cheating on you. He's out here literally getting other women pregnant, having 2 kids with another woman, and you're still stuck in this marriage, not knowing what to do. If you were to leave right now, you would have nothing to your name. The math is just not mathing. Let us really think about it and figure out who we are, because you never know. Yes, it's very important to choose the correct man, but things happen, people change. So if things does happen, will you still have your identity with you? You need to be able to stand firm in your own beliefs, in your own identity, in case things just go AWOL. I know a man that is married to another woman. The man lives here in the US. The woman lives in a country in Africa. I'm not mentioning the country's name. But the man is quite literally making babies here with another woman here in the US. And this woman is suffering, waiting to see when the husband is coming back home. When I heard this, I was like, why don't the women just leave? The person was like, you know what, it's not that easy. And I was like, whoa, correct. Because then what? She has no sense of identity outside of the marriage, outside of the man. So if she leaves, how is she gonna eat? How is she going to get the things that she needs? Which is quite sad, honestly. Personally, I don't think love itself is embarrassing. People have many perspectives. I think it depends on who your partner is. Just make sure you choose correctly. If you don't, of course, that man is gonna embarrass you, girl. Embarrass you. Some people also find the notion of just being seen with another person quite scary. If that man is not my man yet, and I go to see him in a different country, in a different city, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't think I want to post him yet until he's my man. Even maybe until he's my husband, quite literally, because like Shantae mentioned. No. This is actually quite hilarious, because earlier this year I went to see someone in DC, and my pictures, my videos all came out as if I was alone, which was actually quite funny. I didn't think about it in a way that is being described in this article, but now as I reflected, I really thought about it, that it can come off as someone just being scared of being perceived by having this man, especially if the person knows the man, you know. Personally, I agree with the article, but I also see that it lacks in certain point when addressing the real reason why people are just scared to post your boyfriend and whatnot. Okay guys, so this will be the end of the podcast. To recap everything we've talked about, there is an article titled "Is Having a Boyfriend Embarrassing Now?" written by Shantae Joseph. She addresses how people became very distant from creators that all of a sudden posted their partners. It got to a point where these men were embarrassing them, and so it becomes a point where we're just centralizing men too much. She highlights a Substack writer called Boyfriend Land, who also details her encounter with a writer who, instead of addressing her accomplishments, began to talk about the accomplishments of her boyfriend. For 5 minutes and up, right? All of these, coupled with the examples that she provided, with the person that mentioned that she wouldn't claim her boyfriend because the boyfriend would embarrass her 12 years into the relationship. Overall, the article does touch on a few important points about how people can come off as lacking identity outside of their man, outside of their relationship. It's very important. That's my takeaway, at least. If you have any perspectives, please email me. But this is what I'm thinking, that women, we just don't have any identity outside of relationships, and we need to stop. It has to stop. There are no price points when it comes to always using our man for content, always using our boyfriends for some sort of clout. Let us find something we're good at and let us use that to our own advantage so that we can create our own identity for our own self. Because trust me, even when the guy embarrasses you, at least you have your own self, you have your own career, you have your own skills, you have your own empire that you've built. So make sure you stand 10 toes on that, okay? I have a question for you though. Do you think being in a relationship is actually embarrassing? What are your experiences? If you can comment or leave a review and tell me that would be great. If not, you can email me. I'd love to read your stories and what you have to say about this issue. It's going completely bonkers on TikTok right now, and I felt inclined to talk about it on this episode today. As always, thank you so much for tuning in this episode. My name is Benedicta Ajimabrento once again, and see you in our next episode.